A very good morning to everyone who has tuned in with us this morning, and I welcome you to the very first GEMS Global Ambassador Society's Investiture ceremony. The GEMS Global Ambassador Society is taking this step towards creating an opportune world and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. We are bringing together children and teachers from 29 schools across the GEMS group from the UAE and Qatar, who will impact over 87,000 students in the community through their actions and work in harmony to create a society that is applicable, full of opportunity, and allows us to introspect in a way that will help Mother Nature heal. With that, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you once again to the very first GEMS Global Ambassador Society's Investiture ceremony. Today on this solemn occasion, along with the 58 ambassadors, we have the director of UNESCO's International Institute for Capacity Building in Africa, Ms. Yumiko Yokozeki, president of the University of Dubai, Dr. Isa Bastaki, executive vice president of finance, Siemens Industrial LLC, Mr. Jamie Heuser, CEO of GEMS Education, Mr. Dino Varki, and the principal of the GEMS Legacy School and executive leader of climate change at GEMS Education, Ms. Asha Alexander. Ms. Alexander, I welcome you to the investiture of the GEMS Global Ambassadors Society today.
Good morning and welcome to the GEMS Global Ambassador Investiture that will set in motion the largest network of school students who will foster successful partnerships for the Sustainable Development Goals with local as well as global schools over the coming months.
I request all the student and teacher ambassadors to kindly keep their badges ready, turn on their cameras and pin their badges or showcase their already pinned badges to demonstrate their vow towards committing themselves as a leader of the GEMS Global Ambassadors Society. From GEMS Our Own English High School, Dubai, we have Ms. Marie Ramos and Harshini Madhusadanan, and from GEMS Our Own Indian School, Ms. Vinay Sri Sahe and Siddhi Mamge. I welcome you to the society and request you to kindly pin your badges.
Do you promise to uphold the values that will help transform your life and the lives of others towards a sustainable future by leading and creating a sustainable world through your thoughts, words, and deeds, and take up the responsibility and duties as a GEMS Global Ambassador?
I do. I do.
You're hereby invested as GEMS Global Ambassadors, and I wish you the very best as you undertake this role.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, a huge amount of gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Jamie, Madam Yumiko, and of course our chief guest, Dr. Bastaki. We're really grateful for your words of inspiration. It's something that I know that our students and our teachers and our ambassadors will carry with them. Congratulations to our ambassadors. It's such a moment of pride. Genuinely believe that you're the tip of the spear as we look to drive the change that we want to see. For those schools that are participating that are perhaps not part of the GEMS network, my name is Dino Varki. I'm the chief executive. For 60 years, we have been driven by a singular mission, and that is to try and provide a quality education to every child, no matter where they live or what their circumstances are. When we think about how we will measure our own success, it will not be the academic results of our students, nor the universities that they attend, but instead we ask, have we inculcated the right values in our students that enable them to be a powerful catalyst to change our world for the better, that enable them to be the agents of change that will build a more sustainable, prosperous, and peaceful world? But what are the right values? It's an incredibly difficult question to answer because it's influenced by so many factors: personal, familial, national, social, political, organizational, technological, economic, cultural, and I could go on. Those values are also inevitably influenced by the intensity, the strength, and the severity of these influencing factors. So consider this. If you were a child born into poverty, homeless, hungry, and your survival depended on stealing, is this justified or acceptable? If political leadership has consistently been unable to save your job because of globalization, technological disruption, or migration, would it be okay if that person supported a much more nationalistic agenda? Let me give you a really extreme example. If you are the victim of conflict in any form, having already lost friends and loved ones, is it acceptable to kill in order to protect yourself and your family? Is it acceptable to kill in order to preserve your way of life, your faith, or your values? There is no right answer because values are so deeply influenced by perspective, the specific context of each individual, and the complex and ever-evolving interplay of the influencing factors that I highlighted earlier. There is the additional challenge that we're faced with in this hyper-connected information age. What is real? Information and knowledge is freely available. Information is no longer a commodity. It has become increasingly difficult to distinguish truth from fiction because the worth and the value now lies in perverting the facts or simply ignoring them entirely. So far, I've probably left you with far more questions than answers. However, the best that I can do is to provide you with my perspective and certainly the perspective and the principles of GEMS education. So we have the privilege of educating hundreds of thousands of students across 4 continents that represent over 170 different nationalities. We draw our teachers and our educators and our people from over 115 different countries. Diversity is something that we deal with day in and day out. When we think about the values that we try to nurture in our students, we needed to develop a framework that is truly universal. We are also conscious that these values must be adapted based on the local context of the countries and communities that we serve. So we started with a simple question. What is the basic right of every human being? Human rights are the rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. Human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, the right to peace and happiness, and many more. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. This definition is our starting point. We then look at the 17 Sustainable Development Goals because our success will ultimately be judged by our students' ability to improve the state of the world. What is clearly apparent, and this is personal bias, is that by improving access to quality education, we have the underlying catalyst that will enable solutions to every other grand global challenge. As my father has always said, whatever the question, education is the answer. However, in an era of unprecedented change, what is also clear is that the education sector in and of itself is unfortunately notoriously slow to move and adapt to this change. Traditional knowledge and traditional skills are becoming obsolete at an increasingly faster rate. You would have all heard the adage countless times. We are trying to prepare you, our young people, for a future where the majority of jobs that exist today will not exist in 20, 30 years' time. So in a world where change is constant, connected, and increasingly complex, the real constant for our students and our children will be their values. It is these values that will provide the framework that allow our young people to make the right choices in a rapidly changing context. The challenge for education providers, industry, parents, NGOs, political leaders will be, can we shape those values in a manner that lead to every human being able to claim their basic human rights? When we know that generations to come will thrive in a more sustainable, peaceful, and prosperous world. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of today. I'm incredibly proud of all of you, and incredibly energized and excited about what you will all go on to achieve. Thank you all.
From small beginnings come great things. Thank you today for being a part of the ceremony, and we hope that the 58 ambassadors here work towards creating a community that is global and impacts everybody's lives around the world. Thank you so much. Stay safe and God bless.
Thank you, everyone.